Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to another night of iRacing action here on the National Racing Network, where tonight it will be the stars and cars of the TNT Shock Series, coming to you from a racetrack that I have been looking forward to getting on the iRacing platform since it was announced. And it's recently undergone a rebranding, but we're going to still use the old name until iRacing changes it. Kern County Raceway Park, now Kevin Harvick's Kern Raceway, located in Bakersfield, California. Allegedly a perfect half mile, 12 to 14 degrees of progressive banking. Derek Thorne holds the track record here in a SRL Super Late Model set back in 2014, 17.521 seconds. The PM18s are already on track to absolutely blister that track record here tonight. This one is going to be wild. We'll give you a little bit of the rules of the road here as practice is about ready to conclude. They're just finishing up 90 minutes worth of practice. James Watson, remember, 2-lap average qualifying. 2 laps, James. Got to do 2. Race length tonight will be 50 minutes with an 85% fuel limit. You can go about 35 minutes on the fuel window, but it does not matter. They've got 3 sets of tires in the box, and they are going to use every one of them. If this race has long green flag runs, there is serious concern among some of these drivers that they may not be able to make the finish of this race on the sets of tires that they have allocated to them in the pit box. It is going to be absolutely insane how fast these cars are around this place. Let's pick up Brian Labarge in the NASA Meatball. Will be the first, one of the first of the cars to get out onto the racing surface. Sam Carasala getting his first lap in at a 16.306. 16.239 for the AJ Camargo. Oh, and Labarge is in the fence. Brian Labarge pushing too hard on lap number 2. He will not score here in qualifications. The AJ Camargo at a 16.239 on lap number 1. 2-lap average, new quick time. Sam Carasala even faster than the AJ Camargo. 16.279, the 2-lap average for Camargo. Jason Miller moving up to 3rd on the list. We'll pick up Andrew Berry as he is working at lap number 2. That is a huge disappointment for Brian Labarge. He was one of the quickest cars in practice. Andrew Berry goes even faster. 16.055. The lap timer record for Andrew Berry. Berry sets a faster individual lap, but Jesse Francisco is going to move to the top of the charts. 16.227 seconds. Mike Long finishing up his qualification run. Now we'll pick up James Watson getting out onto the racing surface. Only 14 cars on the entry list here for tonight. And unfortunately, looks like we're already going to be down to 13. Seeing the message coming in the Discord from Ben Carswell saying he will be done before this race ever gets started. See what lap number 1 is going to look like for James Watson. It's going to be a 16.149. That is a heater. May not be good enough to knock Andrew Berry off the front row, off the pole position, Could be good enough to join him on the front row if he can get lap number 2 in the books cleanly. Off of turn number 4, Simon Fell jumps up to position number 3, and Watson goes quick time. 16.148 for the average. Wow, that is fast from James Watson. A great run out of the 39 machine. Now getting out onto the racetrack will be Peter Donchak in the number 13. Supposedly the color green and the number 13 are unlucky on race cars. I wonder what it is if you have both. Number 1 underway for Peter Donchak. Still haven't seen Darren Fahey, Wes Shire, Cole Trexler out on the racing surface. Ben Carswell checking in saying the PC can do everything but run iRacing. Yeah, that sucks.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42, 43, 44, 45, 46, 47, 48, 49, 50, 51, 52, 53, 54, 55, 56, 57, 58, 59, 60, 61, 62, 63, 64, 65, 66, 67, 68, 69, 70, 71, 72, 73, 74, 75, 76, 77, 78, 79, 80, 81, 82, 83, 84, 85, 86, 87, 88, 89, 90, 91, 92, 93, 94, 95, 96, 97, 98, 99, 100, 101, 102, 103, 104, 105, 106, 107, 108, 109, 110, 111, 112, 113, 114, 115, 116, 117, 118, 119
Lap number 1 is 16.566 for Peter Dotchak. Lap number 2 going to put him up at a 16.460. That'll be good enough for the 10th position. Now getting out onto the racetrack is one of our 2 championship contenders, one of the big storylines entering tonight's race. Just 2 rounds remaining in the TNT Shock Series season, and it is a 20-point difference separating Wes Shire from James Watson. And it's Watson at the top of the board, 225 to 205. These last two races are going to be huge in terms of settling this championship. Shire with a 16.078 on lap number 1. It's a quick one. Lap number 2 on the board, and Shire goes quick time, 16.038, 16.03 with an 8. For Wes Shire, he's going to bump James Watson to position number 2. Oh my goodness. Sam Carasala has well parked on the racing surface in the middle of turns 3 and 4 after finishing his qualification run. And now we're going to wait it out. 4 minutes and 50 seconds remain in the qualifying session. Only Darren Fahey and Cole Trexler possibly to come out onto the race course to try to set a time here in qualifications. Let's see if we can't get a quick word in here with Wes Shire, our quick timer tonight, at least thus far anyway. Wes on provisional pole. The car looks pretty darn spectacular. Talk us through what you're thinking here, because I would imagine the car probably feels pretty good. I guess it helps if Wes hits the button. Or he just doesn't want to talk to us. Oh, but look. Oh, my goodness.
How about now? Can you hear me?
Oh, now we got you, Wes. So how is the car?
There we go. Microphones help. That's, more conducive. At any rate, the qualifying set is significantly different than the race set. So we'll see here. We'll see. But pretty happy with the race set on the long run pace. Think, it's going to be a real interesting race. A lot of tire wear. Most guys wearing the right front. Maybe 1 or 2 of us wearing the right rear. We'll see. That was the other big one, is tires are going to be the story of the night here. How much are you going to have to baby them to make 3 sets of tires last for 50 minutes? I can only speak for myself, but if all goes well, I will only be pitting once.
Okay, then. That's an interesting one. We'll take that one and run with that here. Wes, thank you very much. We appreciate you coming up into the booth with us. We got a Bizzle here. Dude, what the hell's going on, man? How you been?
What's up, bud?
We're here. We're getting ready to run Kern County, and quite frankly, this is, I said it in the intro, I have been looking forward to this race. A pile of oval specialists running PM18s around here is going to be a lot of fun to watch.
Yeah, I've done a couple laps here, not in the PM18, in, more traditional stock cars that are meant to run here at Kern. And it is incredibly difficult. I can't imagine with a car that's going to be this hard.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting. Let's see. Well, let's bring up James Watson here while we have a second. At least a little bit of time left on the clock here. 2 minutes remaining in qualifications. And James, your car obviously was good in qualifying. You put it on the front row. Didn't have nearly as many laps in practice as Wes and some of these other guys did. How do you think that's going to impact you tonight?
We'll see. A lot of questions on how the track is going to evolve and how the tires are going to react to it. Really interested to see how things are going to shake out here.
I am as well. What are your thoughts here on the possible strategy games? We're hearing 1 stop, possibly as many as 3 stops. It sounds like there could be a whole lot that's going on.
Yeah, I don't know. I got some things in my, honestly, kind of every strategy is on the table. It just really depends on what the tires are telling me, how the car is feeling, and the lap times I'm putting up. I'm going to be monitoring my lap times and try to compare that to others and if I see a big delta, then I may have to. It may force me to figure out whatever strategy from there.
All right, buddy. Well, it sounds like you got a lot of work to do, so we'll let you back down to it. Thank you very much for joining us up here in the booth for a little bit of a pre-race show as we're getting ready to fire these guys off for 50 minutes. Bizzle, I got to ask you, how does that play? I mean, you're hearing Wes Shire saying, I've got a plan. I think I know what I'm going to do. James Watson sounds very uncertain. They're all they're all in one Discord. So how do you put a plan together when the two guys leading the pack are on just completely different thought processes?
You don't. You kind of just go out there and send it and hope you make it. Hopefully you practice enough. We got spared from the iRacing update tonight. So they're going to know what to do. It's just a matter of if you practiced it or not.
Allegedly, they're going to know what to do.
Yeah, allegedly.
Yes, that's, yeah. I mean, unless you're a senator from New Jersey carrying gold bars around. Yeah, I mean, I guess even that's still allegedly at this point. It really is one of those deals where if we don't, you don't know until you know. And it sounds, cliche-ish to say that, but it's the first time here in the series. The officials, I believe, or we had something that ran here earlier this year that put on, it may have been actually the Silver Crowns that put on just a fantastic show. But it's really going to be interesting to watch how these guys develop their strategies over the course of the night. But now it's time for us to get ready to go racing here at Kern County Raceway Park. And let's take a look here and show you tonight's starting grid. On the pole with a lap time, 2-lap average is 16.058 seconds. It will be the Homestead Coffee Tales from Rubicon Schaefer Oil, number 16 of New York's West Shire. Lining up to his outside in the T. Watson Racing Setups National Racing Network ZAS Designs number 39 will be Ohio's James Watson. Row number 2 tonight, out of a land down under. You better run, you better take cover. Darren Fahey starting inside of row number 2. Only about a tenth and change back. Starting to his outside, one of the newer names to the series, carrying the T. Watson Racing Setups colors, it is Jesse Francisco. Row number 3 tonight, we'll have Simon Fell in the TNT Shock number 256, lining up alongside of Andrew Perry in the number 81. AJ Camargo out of Brazil and Mike Long from the United States going to be on row number 4. Row 5 tonight will be Zach Nernberger and Sam Karasala. Jason Miller and Peter Dodchak on row number 6. And row number 7 tonight will be Cole Trexler in the 45. He will be a solo here tonight as Ben Carswell is not able to take the grid here tonight. His computer having all sorts of issues. Going to make their way off of turn number 4. Green flag goes in the air. We are underway here at Kern County. One lap very quickly in the books. It's going to be West Shire out ahead of James Watson. Top 3 starting to break away. First battle we're going to have going to be back around the 4th position. Andrew Berry has Darren Fahey and Simon Fell chasing from behind. Third place, Jesse Francisco putting up a new fastest lap of the race. Top 4 starting to break away. Watson's having a thought about looking to West Shire's inside. He has to back out of it. And we talked about a little bit here, Bizzle. You would think they would settle in.
I'm I'm not sure you can settle in. I mean, we know Wes is going to be conserving tires and only wants to make a one-stop race, but he's out there leading the pack, and Watson's trying to chase him down and frankly doing it very, very slowly, so I'm not sure how much Wes is conserving.
Well, I almost think if just knowing how good some of these guys are at the tire conservation strategies, it almost becomes the thought of, if you're James Watson, all I have to do is stay close to Wes. I can give up the bonus point for most laps led, let him be in front, and I pit when he pits, and then we can go to war.
Yeah, I mean, if you haven't done a strategy beforehand, it's a great idea to follow the leader. The only problem with that is Wes has done this and practiced his tire runs. Watson, I'm not sure he had.
Caution is out for the first time here tonight, and it looks like it may be trouble for Nieje Camargo and Darren Fahey. Take a look here at the NRN replay. See if we can see what happened a little bit further back in the pack. Fahey, that white 15. Camargo in a bronze and green car. Oh, big hit for Camargo up into the outside wall. I'm going to show you that one from another angle here, because that was a pretty big hit here for Fahey and Camargo. The next time by off of turn number 2, Camargo able to get the car inside of Fahey into the corner. And just a little bit of a push up the racetrack. Both of those cars taking big hits. That will be night over. Very likely for both of those guys. So now we'll have to settle back in and see here. Now, again, this is a timed race. So it's not like you're running to a lap count. You're kind of running to the 25-minute mark if you're going to take that strategy. What would be kind of interesting to me is, does somebody try to use a set of tires? I mean, they've only gone 11 laps, but we were hearing as soon as 15 laps, they were starting to hit a cliff.
Yeah, the only problem with going to 25 minutes is, hey, we might have a front-loaded race full of cautions in the first half, so getting to the first 25 minutes might be easy on the tires. And then we could go green the whole way to the checkered flag, and all of a sudden, you've now got 40, 50, 60, 70 green flag laps on those tires.
Yeah, that was exactly it. I mean, they were turning, I think 60 was about the limit that they could get out of these tires in the practice sessions, and even that was getting a little bit sketchy. Now, here's where the restarts get interesting. That high line is not good whatsoever. The longer they run, you may start seeing marbles form up there as the green flag goes back in the air, and Wes Shire gets a fantastic jump down into turn number 1. We'll pull away early here from James Watson. Look a little bit further back and pick up the car is Zach Nernberger, and quite frankly, everybody getting themselves in line and behaving themselves. Oh, we'll see Brian Labarge maybe smacking the outside wall a little bit. Also, looks like Cole Trexler not able to take the start, so we only had 13. Start this race as Watson's got to have a look on Shire. We heard that outside lane was going to be tough, but it seems like Shire's car is going to be hooked up just a little bit here, and these two guys battling for a championship, already putting lap number 18 on the board. They're not going to, you don't think they can go 40 minutes like this, do we?
They can sure try, and if they both wreck each other out, could have some championship implications right there, especially with Andrew Berry getting third. Yeah,
I was going to say, we would have to go full Rick Allen on that one. Andrew Berry actually won't be a factor in the championship. In fact, we're kind of down to a two-horse race. The AJ Camargo taking a big hit tonight with him going out early in this race because he was only 14 points back to Nate Siefker, who is no longer running with the series. So Camargo will earn some points towards getting himself up into third. And Carswell in fifth, not in the race tonight. Andrew Berry sitting on 127. He could leapfrog both and put himself up onto the podium. To see Wes kind of starting to stretch his legs a little bit here. The 5-lap average for Shire, a 16.020 to Watson 16.146. Andrew Berry a little bit closer, down to a 16.086 and a new quick lap in a 15.937. Getting into a little bit of a tire save mode here because Andrew Berry really showing some pace, but he may have to force the issue. If he wants to get around Watson, he's going to do it here into turn one. Smart piece of driving there by James Watson. Up, out of the way, let him through. No need to fight that just yet. Caution is out for the second time here tonight. Trouble this time possibly for Brian Labarge and Sam Carasala. Get a look at it on the NRN replay. Carasala, that number 9 machine, down to the inside. Labarge up on the outside. Right behind the 32 is that Nürnberger. A little bit of a bobble from Carasala. Labarge makes contact, but he may have gotten away with some netcode god love there because I don't even see a lot of damage on the front end of his car.
Watson trying to run right down there near that white line. Maybe the same strategy he tries in the Silver Crown, trying to cool the tires off.
Yeah, that one's a little bit interesting, quite frankly. It's almost like, I mean, track temperature shouldn't be a totally big consideration. Looking at the weather conditions, it's a very nice 69 degrees ambient, 71 degree track temp, partly cloudy skies, even a little bit breezy. Should be about optimum settings for these guys to get this this race in here tonight. But now we almost have to consider what are the implications of these two early yellows. I mean, it seems like trying to make a pass of any kind a little bit deeper in the field is risky at best. I mean, we're down to 9 cars that are here on the lead lap, and we still got a long way to go in this race.
Watson doesn't wreck when he does that.
Yeah. Let's see. We may actually. He is aggressively weaving, so we may actually be in like prime position to get a full-on
I might piss myself laughing. Huge jump. Is he going to get side by side with Barry? Oh, almost.
Jason Miller, Zach Nurnberger. Oh, there's contact. Nurnberger goes around. Looks like we're going to stay green, though. Oh, tough break there for Zach Nurnberger. Take a look at it here on the replay. See what happened there off of turn number 2. Battling with Jason Miller. This is as they're coming back around to the restart.
Just loses it on his... Barely kisses the wall. That car might be okay.
Yeah, I think the car's going to be okay, but that's really interesting that even attempting a pass early down on the inside could get you in a lot of trouble. Mike Long and Peter Donchak fighting. This is a little bit deeper in the field. Going to be for the, 7th position. Everybody towards the front has themselves kind of stretched out now. But let's see. Andrew Barry starting to close in on race leader Wes Shire. Making up a ton of ground here as they are now working at lap number 40 and 35 and change minutes remaining in this one. I mean, right now, this is the only battle that is anywhere close, at least as it stands right now. Barry going to put up a new fastest lap of the race.
Barry very quickly chasing down Wes. I almost wonder if Wes is just going to let him by and let him burn his stuff up.
Yeah, it has to be a thought. I mean, Shire's obviously playing kind of the long game, so to speak, on tires, especially with the cautions flying the way they have. He's got to be thrilled that if he was planning on making this a one-stop race, he's kind of lining up right in his wheelhouse at this point. The other one that, quite frankly, I think is going to be really interesting to watch as this goes on is not just the who has what tires, how and when do they use them, but when do you want to make your move? If you're James Watson, Jesse Francisco, Simon Fell, maybe you don't want to be trying to keep up with these two on outright pace. at some point you kind of have to say good enough is good enough, but it's not like you're going to get a lot of help from lap traffic and go, hey, the leaders are going to hit traffic and we're going to have some time to make up. We've only got 9 cars on the lead lap and 11 on the racetrack right now.
Yeah, it's kind of go time. There's not a whole ton to go out there and try and get.
And actually, okay, I'm sorry. I was going to say, I stand corrected. Darren Fahey is still in the car, but he is on pit lane, so looks like his night will be done as well. The only other real battle we have is sliding back here, picking up James Watson, Jesse Francisco, and Simon Fell. But you can see the gap. These guys, they're all 4 or 5 tenths of a second apart. The closer we get to this halfway number, as Andrew Berry looks inside of Shire to 1. You'll see just here on kind of like middle of your screen there, the pit entry to this place is incredibly difficult to hit at speed. Dangerous, borderline reckless, trying to get the car to pit lane without just going incredibly slow. If they have to make a green flag pit stop, that could turn into an absolute mess for these guys.
Yeah, it could be kind of fun to watch, though. I haven't seen a good attenuator party in a while.
It's a possibility here tonight. Either an attenuator party or the car that slides back up onto the racetrack and LePages the field. Race leader starting to catch up to Zach Nurnberger. Nurnberger is on the lead lap right now. Sam Carasala being scored the only car 1 lap down. Brian Labarge is 2 laps down. Nurnberger clears well high in turns 3 and 4 that time. Albert Barry caught him in an absolutely terrible spot. He gives up a ton of time coming around the lap car in Nurnberger. Fell starting to close in on Jesse Francisco for the 4th position. What's really showing up as interesting to me now, Bizzle, is we're seeing the leaders running 16 flats for their 15-lap average. Andrew Berry just putting up a new fastest lap of the race at a 15.913. This 3rd, 4th, 5th group is kind of running 16 ones and low to mid at 16 ones. They're not losing a ton of time, but they're not exactly doing any gains either. It almost feels like a road course a little bit in that everybody is settled into where they belong on pace.
Yeah, it's going to take a caution or something crazy to shake this up, or some tire strategy. That's what a lot of road course races come down to, is your fuel strategy and your tire strategy, and I think that's what we're going to see here tonight. Berry is definitely going to get around Shire at this point. I have no doubt about that. It's just a matter of, can Berry do that while keeping the tires on his car, or is Wes going to preserve and get him right back?
Well, and we've seen, about half the passing attempts tonight have ended with cars in the wall. Especially as catch up to a lap car. Here, this is Peter Donchak that they're coming around now. It's not the easiest thing to get lap in a good way. We're seeing, and quite frankly, it's almost the same thing we saw with Nurnberger. Berry having to give up a little bit of ground. Oh, buddy, almost making contact with Shire in the middle of 1 and 2 that time. Now, the closer we get to halfway, this just kind of screams this could get interesting. The other one I want to keep an eye on is 7th place Mike Long. He played a bit of a strategy game earlier under that 2nd caution flag of the night. He's made a pit stop. He has 36 laps on his tires compared to the 65 that everybody else does. Yes, he may go a lap down here, but if they have to make a green flag pit stop and he doesn't, Mike Long could have played the long game to huge advantage if he can keep the car underneath.
Yeah, he's got to keep the car underneath him and hope there's an incident while they come on the pit lane, because these guys are going well faster than him right now.
Yeah, the strategy doesn't work if you go 2 laps down. But if you're only 1 lap down and everybody else makes a green flag stop when you made a caution flag stop, you could potentially lap the field. I mean, we're talking at minimum 25 seconds on pit lane. That's a lap and a half. Plus the slowdown time and the acceleration time. You know, you factor in the in and out laps. It's almost 2 laps down that these leaders would be going. So in theory, then Long would make the lap up and be 1 lap.
Especially if you pass all those cars and then a caution would come out, you've locked everyone into the danger zone. They're all a lap down and you can't get it back. It's pretty much your race to lose at that point.
That's exactly right. Now, let's see. Seeing Peter Donchak is on pit lane. Petey making a stop on lap number 69. Going to push him back to position number 11. And it looks like there may have been some wall contact for Peter Donchak, because now he is showing as retired and out of this race. So I believe that's going to put us down to 10 cars remaining on the racetrack, only 6 of whom are on the lead lap. Now coming around, Sam Carasala getting a first SOF win earlier this season. Sam found the community, enjoys the car, and is learning a lot about oval driving, but some things come quicker than others, and quite frankly, trying to compete with guys like Barry and Shire and Watson and all, that's a tough ask to just kind of jump into a league, unless you're already an alien. That's a tough thing to do, is jump in this league.
This isn't even like just getting into oval and racing your rookie street stocks, or even your C-Fix trucks, where everyone on iRacing runs those and you have a good distribution of skill the whole way from top to bottom. These are the best of the best that almost exclusively run this specific car on ovals. So to be able to come here and still, you're only 2 laps down. You're not that far off the pace. 2 laps down sounds harsh, but look at Brian Labarge there in the 10th position. He's one of the best guys in this league as well, and he's sitting there 2 laps down as well. So, Sam, if you go back and rewatch this, you ain't doing half bad at all.
No, he is not. And quite frankly, Brian Labarge is going to be, maybe the right word to use is disgusted with how this race has turned out for him. He was easily one of the fastest cars in practices. Both of the leaders are starting to hang the rear end out exiting turn 2. Labarge was incredibly quick in practice, has the issue in qualifying, has an issue early on in the race. This becomes one of those nights where I'm the guy who's just rage quitting and saying adios. Oh, what a move by Barry. Wow, he really had to come down hard on the binders exiting turn 4. Great battle for the race lead. And we're inside of halfway to go. About 91 laps is what the calculation says from timing and scoring. They've run 81 to this point. A fair number of those were under yellow, but you would tend to think these guys are going to have to make a stop sometime here fairly soon.
Yeah, I mean, we're past halfway now, so how much further do they want to push it? Is West going to try and short pit Barry? Or are they both going to hold out and see if there's a caution? Or could either of these drivers be the caution?
Well, yeah, I mean, that's when you think about it. Ordinarily, you would say, okay, we've got 20, 25 cars in the field. Odds are you're going to get a caution at a place that eats tires like this. When you're only down to 10 left on the racetrack, I don't know that you can plan on caution coming. And maybe this is even one of those where James Watson says, hey, I'm going to pit now and have as much as I can on these tires. The only problem is that the Cooper tires they run here on the PM18 seem to get better as you go. Last lap for Andrew Berry, a 16.039. His best lap, a 15.913. Same story for Wes Shire. They're still within half a tenth of where they are running in terms of optimum times. I don't know that you gain anything by attempting the short pit. Oh, but here it comes. There's our answer. Wes Shire on pit lane. Oh, that's so tricky to get in. So Shire's going to make his pit stop now. He is down and away. 6.8 seconds. Time of the stop for Wes Shire. Andrew Berry stays on the surface. But now Shire, not only is he a lap down, but he's got to pass Mike Long still, who's in the 6th position. The strategy for Mike Long is starting to play out ever so slightly. However, the gap's sitting at about 2.7 seconds, 2.6 seconds between Long and Shire.
I don't know if it's going to work for Long, just because Shire is now on fresh tires and Long is on some pretty old, worn-out tires at this point.
Well, yeah, but take a look. Wes Shire mired in a pile of lap traffic with 21.5 minutes to go as race leader Andrew Berry is on pit lane. That'll make James Watson your new race leader. He will pick up a lap lead. Berry's down and away. Nice stop, 6.9 seconds.
Gotta love the old school short tracks. No pit wall, nothing protecting the pit crew, just an orange cone saying, please don't cross this.
Yeah, don't walk past here. Now, I will say, though, these places also don't typically see hot pit stops either. Usually.
No, there's one night a year I know of at Riverhead that they do hot pit stops, and they put a Jersey barrier pit wall up on the infield.
The final Cup race at North Wilkesboro back in '96, I guess it was, they still had no pit wall there for that. And those guys were doing full-on hot pit stops with basically, I mean, I guess they had a pit speed limit by that time, but still, cars flying down pit road at North Wilkesboro at speed.
Still today, there's no pit wall at Daytona, no pit wall at Talladega. And we saw, I believe it was Josh Wise, it might have been another driver, I just forget who, that did spin and smacked into the pit wall at race speed. Like, the pit wall protecting the crews from the track, not the pit walls protecting the pit from the track.
Now, interesting of James Watson here, taking advantage of the fact that there are no pit stalls marked or pit boxes. He's just going to absolutely fly down pit lane. Now, Jason Miller has the race lead. And he is up by 6.5 seconds over Andrew Berry. How about this one? Berry comes out after the pit stop as your race leader, effective race leader, by 1.1 seconds over Mike Long. Wes Shire now sitting in third.
Wes Shire is about to pass Mike Long like he's standing still, though. Side by side down the back straightaway. Wes is going to have it out of 4 this time.
Getting messages from some of the folks in the Discord asking if they're seeing hot dog wrappers on the racetrack. Begging race control for a caution. No, we don't want a caution. Now the chase is on. Wes Shire, can he catch Andrew Berry? Last lap for Berry, 9:40. Shire, 9:96 as Jason Miller hits pit lane. That will promote Andrew Berry back to the race lead. Wes Shire to position number 2.
Shire is going to be on the attack.
And that's really dangerous here. If you're worried about tires, you still have 17 and change minutes left to go. You might get there, but you could burn everything up in the process. Now we'll look a little bit further back in the field here. Pick up Simon Fell, Jesse Francisco, Sam Carasala. This is about the best battle we have for position, other than Brian Labarge and Jason Miller. These guys are fighting for position number 9.
Miller maybe taking a stab to the inside. He's going to be there. They're going to be side by side out of 2. Miller's got it.
Yeah, you wonder if there's not a little bit of damage on Brian Labarge's car. We'll see. Don't have any of the super tight cameras here tonight, but looks like any wing damage that Labarge may have had from that contact earlier in the race was taken care of by the crew. Now, the other one that we kind of have to keep an eye on here is James Watson. 2 cars ahead of him is Mike Long, currently sitting in position number 3. Watson is gaining, but getting to him and passing him are going to be 2 wildly different things here. Going to get a little bit of help here from Jason Miller making the dive inside of the 21.
Watson's going to be side by side with him. They stay side by side coming in turn 1. He's got it cleared, but still has a car to the outside. That's going to be Jason Miller.
Watson easily able to dispatch Miller through 3 and 4 that time. So now he's going to set his sights forward. The guy who's doing the same thing is Wes Shire, currently running in the 2nd position. There's nothing there. That gap holding pretty steady at about 1.4 seconds. This is the fight between Simon Fell and Jesse Francisco. Now, Kern County has lights. However, iRacing hasn't paid the electric bill for this place yet, so the lights are not turned on.
They were supposed to be tonight, but the update got pushed back till tomorrow.
That is correct, and actually a schedule update. The Sim Racers Club has decided to push their penultimate round of the championship back 1 week. Basically, they don't want to race on release day. Well, quite frankly, these guys in the Shock Series didn't even. But they were going to anyway, because that's the way we do things in TNT. But the Sim Racers Club is going to push their race back 1 week. So it will not be tomorrow night from Martinsville Speedway. Instead, it will be next Wednesday night from Martinsville. Following week, they will close their season out at Phoenix. Francisco, Zach Nurnberger battling for position. Oh, big time connection issues there for Nurnberger. These guys battling for 6th and only about half a second back to 5th place. Simon Fell. And there's race leader Andrew Berry just back behind Zach Nurnberger. Comments are very quiet tonight too, Bizzle. Nobody wants to talk to us.
I don't want to talk to me either. My doctor's been telling me to stop that, so I understand why the commenters aren't.
Yeah. Okay, not sure why that graphic grew. Well, let's... Let's try that one again. You can send your hate mail to Bizzle at nationalracingnetwork.com. Tell us how much we are just abject screw-ups over here tonight, apparently.
My hate mail inbox has been kind of empty. It's only been full of PRI asking me to come back.
Yes.
Got an email at 4 o'clock this morning saying it's not too late to get your credential. The media center opens at 8 tomorrow.
Oh, yeah.
If I wasn't already in Indianapolis, I'm probably not going at this point, guys.
That is correct. Although I will say PRI is still a pretty good show. It's not what it once was, I guess. Too many people relying on the interwebs and not being willing to sit on information. But that's neither here nor there. Race Control, M. McCullen saying, I also don't want to talk to Bizzle.
That's fine. I guess I won't see you at Lime Rock next year.
You know what, Bizzle? Oh, you got a little love. My wife was asking about you today. Well,
okay.
You and the family.
Oh, that's good to hear.
Actually, I think that's where DRI trip was where Bizzle ended up passed out drunk on my kitchen floor.
Yeah, that was the first time I ever entered your place of residence, and also the first time I passed out on the kitchen floor. That was fun. The Bloody Marys the next, or I guess, a handful of hours later in the airport were fantastic.
Yes, they were. Much needed Bloody Marys at 5 in the morning or whatever it was.
I believe I was on your floor at 1 in the morning. We were in the airport at 3 in the morning.
That is correct. Yeah.
Somehow still missing our flight.
Yes.
Yes, we did. We were supposed to have a layover in Detroit.
Yeah, that's
and
right.
our later flight we got rescheduled to was direct Indianapolis.
So it worked out. So we're following Jesse Francisco here to get back on topic. He is 1.1 seconds back of Simon Fell. That is the only battle on the racetrack right now. Andrew Berry holding a 2.2 second lead over Wes Shine. And about to put 5th place Simon Fell a lap down as we're down to 9 minutes remaining here. Jesse Francisco is making up a little bit of ground on Simon, but that may be as much with Simon going a lap down, having to run kind of the off nominal line for a couple of laps. But this race, barring something crazy happening in the next 8 minutes, will not see much of a swing in the point. Oh, well, hold on that thought. James Watson comes to a stop on the inside of the racetrack, and he's out of the race. Let's take a look at the replay here. Just off of turn number 2, pulls the car down to the inside, and Watson's got a meatball.
Not sure what for. Maybe for tire wear?
Maybe for tires. Could we see a meatball out of our race leaders? Contact with the wall is what we are also hearing.
And yep, contact with the wall. He was going to plug a fan in, took his eyes off the road for a split second, then unfortunately crashed. Just another PSA as to why texting while driving is not very good.
That is exactly right. And all right, Rick Allen time, championship implications. Watson currently sitting in position number 10. I don't have the rule book in front of me here, but that is a big number. We could see a change at the top, with Watson only holding a 20-point lead over Wes Shire entering tonight's race.
10th place only gives you 17 points, while winning gives you 45.
Okay, but what does second get you? Because Shire's 3.5 seconds back with 6 minutes.
Second gets you 38. More than just
double.
shy of double 70.
However, it'll be right about a 3-ish point gap separating James Watson and Wes Shire when we head off to the season finale. I'm sorry, with 2 races to go. Next week, we visit North Wilkesboro Speedway, follow it up with a visit to Gateway, well, the artist formerly known as Gateway, Worldwide Technology Raceway. Oh, this is drama.
Man, I've done that too. Especially, I've been in VR before and just like flip my eyes under the headset for a second to go and grab something. Maybe take another sip of my drink because I was thirsty or do something else. And just that split second. You guys made fun of me for probably 2 months. Because down the straightaway at Road Atlanta, I hit the wall.
Yes, that is absolutely right. Man, that just absolutely brutal for James Watson. And now it promotes Mike Long back into a podium position. And he has a 12-second gap on Simon Fell. Well, hold on a second. Wes Shire has a 12-second gap on Mike Long. Mike Long only has about a quarter of a second on Simon Fell, and Jesse Francisco's closing in as well. We're down to 4 minutes and 20 seconds remaining. AJ Camargo checking in saying, hit more walls than I can count just by looking at the relative. That's me.
Yeah, the relative is on your screen. Like, you're not looking away from the screen to look at the relative. It is that easy to lose focus for a split second and hit that wall.
Jesse Francisco had a big bobble off of turn number 2. Now, instead of battling Simon Fell, he's going to have to try to hold off Mike Long. Wes Shire getting a little bit sideways off of turn number 2 that last time by. Let's run you through your front of the field here with 3 minutes to go. Andrew Berry has led 67 laps tonight. And timing and scoring says there's about 12 left. Here's where that becomes important. Wes Shire has led a race-high 81 laps. It's going to be tight if Andrew Berry will be able to come past Wes Shire for most laps led. Shire has had an absolutely fantastic race thus far tonight. Like we mentioned, leading a race-high 81 laps, the car has been nothing short of spectacular. Third place, Simon Fell is now the first car 1 lap down, if you can believe that. Jesse Francisco running in the 4th position, about 1.6 seconds back of Simon. Rounding out the top 5, Mike Long playing the strategy game, may leave here tonight with the top 5. The AJ says he hit more walls than he can count by looking at the relative, and he's in VR.
See, I can see it in VR, doing it very easily, looking at the relative, just because depending on where you put it in VR, it might just be a glance moving your eyeballs, or you might actually be moving your head down to look at it. And in that case, you're looking down almost where the center console of your real car would be, kind of like where you'd look if you were texting and driving. And as we know in the real world, it is very easy to get into a car accident if you're doing that.
Yeah, that's putting it mildly. Good way to kill somebody. But now we're in.
That's one.
That's exactly right. You're only going to wad up a pretend race car, not a real one. Now with right about 60 seconds remaining, only 4 laps to go is what we're seeing. Andrew Berry will come up just shy of claiming the bonus point for most laps led away from Wes Shire. Not real surprising here, Bizzle, with 30 seconds left, that Andrew Berry and Wes Shire were the guys that would dominate this race here tonight.
No, this is a track that suits them both. Very difficult tracks, Wes is good at, and Andrew is fantastic at. Wes is good at everything, but Andrew is fantastic at his niches, and you see that right here.
Yeah, I mean, the running joke is that they are running some version of a setup that was provided by Andrew Berry.
Almost 2 years ago.
That is correct. This white flag is out. It's the final lap here at Kern County Raceway Park. And Andrew Berry's just about completed that final circuit. He'll come off at turn number 4. Twin checkers go in the air, and Andrew Berry gets the win at Kern County. Wes Shire comes home second. Simon Fell will round out your podium in the 3rd position. AJ Camargo says we need a tech inspection on those race cars. Yeah, that's a possibility. Can we get race control down here to tech these guys? But as Andrew Berry burns the house down here on the front straightaway, let's run through and we'll show you tonight's race results. Andrew Berry getting the win by almost 5 seconds over Wes Shire. Simon Fell, the first car, 1 lap down in 3rd. 4th, Jesse Francisco. Jason Miller rounding out the top 5. Sam Carasala comes home 6th after Mike Long had to make a pit stop with a couple laps to go. He will come home in the 7th position, followed by Brian Labarge, Zach Nurnberger, and James Watson. Watson going to be, I believe, the first car out of the race. Second page of the leaderboard has Peter Donchak, Darren Fahey, and the AJ Camargo. Cole Trexler and Ben Carswell, I believe, will not score points tonight as they did not start. But that will wrap up the 13-car field that we had here tonight at Kern County Raceway Park. So we'll kick off our Victory Lane interviews here with our race winner tonight, Andrew Barry. And I'll tell you what, Andrew, this has been a kind of a season of ups, downs, frustrations, and joy at times. And tonight's one of those good nights, picking up a win here. Congratulations.
Yeah, thanks. It was that was a long race. Yeah, I'm tired at the end of that, but yeah, it was a good race. I was really surprised. I didn't expect to have near the pace that I ended up having during that race. So it was really I was pleasantly surprised when I was able to hang with Wes and then pass him at the end of that first run there.
Yeah, and at that point, it kind of seemed like the second half, after the pit stop, basically, that really was the difference maker, because you guys were close going into the pits, and you're separated by a second and a half after the pit stop. At that point, you were kind of in cruise control mode.
Yeah, I initially was pushing pretty hard because I didn't want him to catch me or anything. But like once I was pretty much maintaining that gap. I just pretty much sat there for a while, and yeah, it was a good time.
Well, yeah, it was a heck of a show that you put on here at the front of the field, and quite frankly, making up a ton of points too. Looks like you may be inside the podium here for the season. Obviously, the top two are going to be a little bit out of reach after tonight, but maybe not so much. I mean, you're going to be sitting. You would have to basically put up 2 more consecutive wins. Do you think about a championship being a possibility?
It's going to be difficult. I think I didn't look at what it was before tonight, but I think I was pretty far back at this point. So I think points are, obviously I got a decent haul, but I think points are kind of out at this point. But yeah, it was nice to get a win. I think this was the first win I've had all season. So I don't know if we've even talked yet this season. So it's good to get a win in.
We have not talked yet this season. It is your first of the season. The updated points after tonight, James Watson's leading at 246. You're sitting at 173. So at this point, you're just looking to keep locking down that podium spot, and a couple of more top 3 finishes like this, you'll get it done.
Yeah, we'll see how the next 2 go. I was very surprised at the pace I had, so I don't know if I'll be able to repeat that.
Well, we'll find out. North Wilkesboro is a little difficult place like this is. We're looking forward to seeing that one next week. And Andrew, congratulations on the win. And before we let you go, make sure you do any of the sponsor plugs and shout-outs you want to get in here.
Yeah, just thanks to everyone for putting this on. It's a good time.
All right, buddy. Well, thank you much. We appreciate you coming to hang out with us here in the booth for a minute. And let's see, our runner-up finisher tonight here, Mr. Wes Shire. We'll bring him up into the booth with us. And I'll tell you what, Wes, that car had a lot of really good pace, and then the pit stops came along. What was the story on that one there?
So I'm going to have to look back at the data, but I think the track temp either hit a specific track state or a specific track temp that just did not agree with my car. And that was right about the time Andrew passed me. So I figured, I must be A, in dirty air, and B, out of right front. Lo and behold, no, I had 67% right front left. So, yeah, I don't know. If I had known that, I probably would have loosened the car up a bit with the rear tire pressure change. But, yeah, missed the mark on that one.
Yeah, and at that point, then you were kind of having to fight through Mike Long, who was on an alternate strategy from you guys. And once you got there, it was kind of, I would say, game over at that point. How do you kind of adjust that mental state there?
Yeah, the traffic didn't help But I don't think it would have made much of a difference looking at the pace I had once I got through. So I think at best I probably would have been maybe a second closer to Andrew at the end of the race. So yeah, I'll take a P2. Good for the championship, I guess. No idea how that's going, but
well, we can give you
good
that
enough, I guess.
answer. It is a 2-point gap separating you and James as we head into next week at North Wilkesboro, then the following week at Gateway.
Ooh, all right, this is going to come down to the wire then.
It's going to come down to the wire, and how do you approach that? Because you're a guy who's notoriously, I don't talk about points, I don't think about points a lot. You kind of have to
it's
think
very
about
simple.
points.
No, it's very simple. I go out, I win the next 2 races.
Okay, so Babe Ruth calling his shot then.
Yeah.
All right, we'll take that. West Shire calling 2 more wins to close out the season and another TNT Shock Series championship. Wes, congratulations on the runner-up finish tonight. We're looking forward to the next couple of weeks for sure. And before we let you go, do all the sponsor plugs and shout-outs here too.
Yep. As always, got to thank you guys for the broadcast. I got to thank everybody at TNT for showing up to this and putting up with not having a right front tire ever tonight. And, of course, thanks to the rest of the council for helping organize everything. And big old shout-out to Homestead Coffee, keeping you awake and alert enough to drive the right front off this thing.
All right, buddy. Well, thank you much. We very much appreciate you coming in. Yeah, it may be a Homestead Coffee night for sure. I don't see Simon Fell in here to talk to, but yeah, we'll say this, Bizzle, as we'll give it a moment for see if Simon pops in. But I would say kind of about what we would have expected out of a first visit to a place, especially one as tough as Kern County. Andrew Berry, West Shire, the class of the field. Everybody else had a variety of different kinds of struggles.
Yeah, this was a very, very difficult track to run. And even in the limited practice I've done around here, it's not easy at all to get around. There's a reason Kevin Harvick has just recently purchased this track. It's a track he grew up at. It is why he's so talented, or was so talented in the Cup Series. I keep forgetting he's retired now. But it's a track that, if you get good at it, it makes you a good driver.
Yeah, that's exactly it. It's one of those that you show up and you run hard the entire night, and quite frankly, you end up putting a pretty good show on here by the end of it. But time for us to get the heck on out of here. Bizzle's got Fastmasters to run. I have a steering wheel to try and set up, see if I can get into Fastmasters or not. But with that, it's time for us to get the heck on out of here. Good show tonight. We are off the rest of the week because it's update week and week 13 and all that stuff. We will be back on Monday night with the Silver Crowns. Follow it up next Tuesday with the iRacing at Sprint Car Cup. That's coming back. And we'll follow it right up with a doubleheader, the TNT Shock Series. That will follow on Wednesday with the Sim Racers Club. Then on Thursday night, the plan is to have the Indy Pro 2000 Championship back here once again. Getting all those details squared away this week as well. But with that, we are getting out of here. For Bizzle and everybody else here at the National Racing Network that makes these shows happen, my name is Chris Graham. Thank you so much for coming to hang out with us, and we'll talk to you all soon. Have a great night, everybody.